So in our last session, we were able to do a few things, and we managed to finalize creation of responsibility, and we did assign all the responsibility to the profile option HR user type. We also created user. I also assigned all responsibility to the user. Went ahead and created location, and we created business group. So I understand there's some information I shared with you regarding the logging in the instance, that is the practice instance. I understand no one has ever reached to me with any challenge, so I believe for those who have been able to log in right now, or who has joined the session right now, do you have you encountered any issue? So silence is telling me there is no one has issue. So we can progress. And with that, today I want us to look at, before we go deep to our training, there is a concept I want us to first of all understand. And this concept is very much important when it comes to this learning session. Okay? It's very much important because it will give you the wider perception of what you will be doing, and also what happens when it comes to implementation to big organizations and also small organizations. So we are done with this. So this other functionality that we managed to define up to number 5, they are not much in relation on what I want to discuss, because what I want to discuss will touch a bit of group business or business group. So in this case, there is a concept we talk, or we usually say, e-business suite, that is EBS. Usually approach the implementation with. In this concept, we call it multi-org. Multi stand for multiple, and org stand for organizations. So it means it's talking about multiple organizations which can be implemented at the same time, or as even in future when times comes. So what is multi-org? So for Oracle e-business, multi-org structure is a framework. You can say it's a framework. Okay, for those who are taking some notes, it's a framework that allows an organization to manage and segregate data across multiple business units. So there is managing and segregating data across multiple business units. It could be legal entities, it could be operating units, it could be, the ledgers. So this is what I would like us to have a clear kind of look today. Or in other words, see the idea of multi-org as a drawer, for example. Okay. And in this drawer, see it as a cabinet, as a big cabinet. this cabinet has multiple drawers. Okay. And each drawer, of course, it has its contents. Okay. This content, refer to it as this is our data. And for the cabinet, I mean for the cabinet, you can refer to it, or you can see it as the company. And now these drawers, they are the one which represent the segments, or the segmentation or segregation of data. Don't confuse with the segments that we were talking about when we were talking about the chart of accounts or the distribution. So view this as a bigger picture. Now the other segment of chart of accounts are inside, but from the kind of approach we are looking at it, you just see the segregation of data in multiple different areas, and which can be used later in sharing. This data can be shared in between, but it is sitting in different units or areas or segments. Okay, so these are segmentation of, call them segments, but not the segments that we are discussing. Like, segment is about separating or grouping. I think I should use the word group instead of segment to avoid to confuse you with the other segments we are discussing later. So this data is separate and share some of it when needed. This helps the company stay organized and makes even sure each part of the company works smoothly without mixing things up. So that's the kind of an idea when it comes to multi-org. But now we have specific information that has to be maintained in this multi-org structure. So, and I will pause and draw a question to you, whereby I would like to understand what information do you think needs to be maintained in an organization? You can just mention the information you think that has to be maintained in an organization, or it is usually maintained in an organization for the purpose of smooth running. One person, please. I'm waiting. I'm waiting to hear from you. Information that you can find in an organization. Give me your guessing. Don't stay quiet. Any answer is accepted.
Departments.
Sorry?
Departments.
Departments. But in that department, what information is maintained there?
Employees, or what, the information of the departments.
Yeah, you have mentioned employees. That's what I wanted to hear. Employee information. Anything else?
Yeah, I have to think.
Only this. In the whole organization, there's a lot of information is pending. Well, some you are working, probably you're working with right now. Look at the bigger picture, like in a manufacturing organization. What data do they exchange each and every day? What information do they have? Look upon how I explained the process of procure to pay and order to cash. All that information it should give you ideas of information that we have in an organization.
Inventory. I don't know if like information about sales orders, invoicing, the normal transactions.
Yeah,
That the normal
transaction.
transactions that would take place. I don't know how to call that or what to call that.
No, I just needed you to give an idea of the information. Anything else?
Customer information, supplier information, I think.
I'm writing what you're saying. There's no right or wrong answer.
I think there's budgets and forecast info and legal and compliance. Ruth has a message in the chat box.
Yeah, I can see budget info. There is legal. Okay. So what happens? This is good. This is the information that you find in. This information has to be maintained in an orderly manner and in a very, very, very organized manner. So when we talk about multi-org framework, it's a structure whereby these information get grouped in different, different segment or different categories for proper maintenance of information and for even proper access or retrieval of data when it's needed, or even when one group needs to share with the other. So we have the top group and we have the lower group. So in a multi-org structure, what usually happens in Oracle multi-org structure, we have the first group called business group. Okay, this is the business group, and in business group, if I may probably let me use image instruction. Here we have business group. This is the business group. And in business group, we usually maintain employee information. So this is all about HR, call it HRMS. Before I talk about that, we provide other information. So from the business group, this is the largest group in terms of classification. So it will be at the top. It will have all the employee information of a certain organization. From there, we usually go down to another part of information or another part of group called, this one you call it the primary region or the region. So from the business group, we go down to the primary region. And in primary region, this is where we'll maintain information regarding the financial records. The financial records of an organization will be maintained in this level. That is information about chart of accounts, accounting calendar, currency, accounting method. We'll have to find it in relation to this level of the structure, that is the primary ledger. So what usually happens, the information or the applications that, so you'll find that because we are dealing with the application, these application, they hold information, and therefore this information, it has to be grouped under this structure. Therefore, we have to approach this, or we usually approach this multi-org structure with specific applications that have to apply in each and every group. So in this case, when it comes to business group, we usually map it to, okay, so the primary goal is to hold in employee information. So and employee information, usually you hold it or manage it through which application? Someone? HRMS application. Okay, this is the application that will be mapped to the business group for the purpose of holding employee information. And in each and every implementation that you are doing, we usually have an approach of like how many business group you need to create per each and every implementation you're doing. So we usually say it's one per country. You have to define one business group per country. This is because each and every country's laws and regulation when it comes to employees, you'll find they are different. So minimally what you can do is to create, if you're implementing for a single company that has distribution in different countries, you need to know that you'll have to build a business group for each and every country so that information from that country has to be, employee information from that country has to be treated different as per that country's rules and regulation when it comes to employment. And that's where the business group comes in, whereby you'll have to maintain one by each and every country. But if you're only implementing for one country, you'll need to implement just one. I hope that one is clear. So when it comes to primary ledger, the information that we maintain under this level, we have said it's about calendar, that is accounting calendar, currency, and accounting method. So primarily, we usually map these two applications. One is the GL, that is general ledger, okay, and FA. Okay, this is the application that we map in this level for the purpose of maintaining the information that I've just said about the calendar and accounting method, currency and all that. Okay. The next one is about it's about the legal entity. We call it legal entity. I can just maybe duplicate this. Edit. Ruth has mentioned about legal and compliance. So the information about legal has to be maintained in this level. And this information will be used to map the cash management module. Or in the level of cash management module, this is where we will be able to map that information. Okay. Information about legal entity, that is the ownership of the organization, will be mapped to this level, will be mapped with the function called legal entity. And the application that is mapped on the level of legal entity is cash management. This one is very much important because when we will start building this, when actually you've probably seen when we are creating the business group, we had to assign human resource organization to the level of business group, because this is where it's supposed to be mapped. So even the rest, as we continue, you'll be seeing when we talk about primary ledger creation or defining, there is information we'll have to be able to map it through primary ledger. For instance, when it comes to creation of calendar, creation of account, period types, you see we had to access those features through the general ledger. I remember I showed you that, although we have not defined any, but in a very high level, I was able to show you. So that information, we map it on through the level of general ledger. The same case you will see when we are building or when we are creating bank account information. We will have to provide legal information of the ownership of the bank account that we'll be defining. The next one, we call it operating units. Okay. And under operating units, in short, we call it OU. Okay. And in OU, you have mentioned about transactions. So the transactions that you usually define or create in the application will be maintained under the level of operating units. Okay, under the level of operating unit. And an operating unit is like a division, or it's a division or department within the company that performs specific business operations such as sales. You can find procurement, inventory management, payables, So all these, you can imagine the applications that will be defined or will be mapped to this level. You have an idea, anyone? Having given you the definition of an operating unit, I've said it's a division or a department, and within this division or department, within a company, you'll find there are specific business operations, and these operations are like sales, like purchasing, like invoice management, So I'm asking, which application do you think we will map in this level? Having the idea of how we are mapping this information versus how I have defined the operating unit. Any idea? Where do you book a sales order or a purchase order? Which application do you use? Anyway, all the subledgers, apart from the cash management and probably the FA, you'll find application like AP, that is accounts payable, AR, okay, PO, that is purchase or purchasing, order management, and so on and so on. All these subledgers, okay, will be mapped to the level of operating unit, because under the operating unit, that's where you'll find different divisions or departments are doing this, are maintaining or are conducting this operation of probably maintaining supplier information. There is somewhere you mentioned about supplier information here. You are very correct. Things to do with transactions that are coming from supplier, transactions that are coming from customer. You see customer information also, it's featuring. So the reason why I was asking you this is for you to be able to understand how this information where will be mapped. You see, I don't know how, by what a coincidence you started with the employee information. But you see, the employee information is the one that we are starting with at the level of business group. It has to be there. Okay? It has to be there. Then, again, we have another and final, segment or group in the structure, which we call, this one we call inventory organization. Inventory organization. Okay. So let me not finish the name. So INV. So under inventory organization, what we usually maintain here is here we maintain inventory information. Abbreviate it as INV. Under primary ledger, how many do we create as per implementation? So what happens, you will find the primary ledger may differ based on different approaches. For instance, if you find, like, for instance, you are implementing for more than one country, remember, when we are creating the primary ledger, I talked about the 4 C's. Okay, I talked about the 4 C's. And these 4 C's, one is, anyone can mention, please, and remember? Can anyone mention 1 C?
Calendar.
Yeah, we have calendar. Next.
Currency.
Currency. Next.
Chart of accounts.
COA. The 4th C.
Cash management.
No, accounting method.
Accounting.
Accounting methods, okay. Cash management is an application. So, for us to have or to be able to define a primary ledger, we need these 4 C's. I talked about them some few weeks ago. Okay, and with these 4 C's, you'll find they have to be maintained so that we can be able to define the primary ledger. So what is important here is to understand, like, when we have the calendar, if the calendar is the same, if the currency is the same, and the chart of account is the same, and the accounting method is the same, you don't need to create more than one primary ledger. That is, for instance, we are assuming you are implementing in only one country. You don't need to create more than one primary ledger. Okay? But if you are doing a multi-org for more than one country, you'll find you need to implement, to put different scenarios into consideration. And one of it is the calendar. For instance, you might find you have you have operations in USA, you have operation in Kenya, okay, and probably you have operation in UK, okay. So you have to understand, for you to be able to implement for this EBS environment. Remember, all these will be in one environment. It will be in one instance, but this instance has to have different, probably this segmentation. That's where now it's coming in. The structure comes in to guide you so that you can be able to tell at which country you need to maybe provide a different scenario based on how they operate. For instance, in US, you'll find they have their financial year starting from January to December. In Kenya, we have July to June, okay? And in UK, you'll find it has a different year. So for you to have this, remember these will be fiscal, calendar year. And this one will be fiscal year. So you'll find the calendar here will force you not to use the same chart of accounts when it comes to, the same primary ledger or the same ledger when it comes to defining the primary ledger for maybe US and Kenya, okay? These two, the first of all, because of this difference, will force you to go for another primary ledger. And also, the currency is different. The currency that is being used in US is different with what you are using in Kenya. So you cannot define a primary ledger with two different currencies. You will only provide one. So if the currency forces you to change based on how the reporting of the client looks like, you'll need to consider maybe building another primary ledger. Sometimes we usually work with something we call a secondary ledger. That one is a class for another day. But for this one, just understand, you might find that you need a primary ledger for each and every country. So just like we had said for business group, it will go with one per country. Okay, one per country. And also, sometimes what might find or might make you, choose to build a different primary ledger is the chart of accounts. You might find the segments that are in one chart of account. One country, they are not, it doesn't have to be even in different country. You might find there are several, business units or operating units, which has different needs when it comes to reporting. So you find like some segments are completely different and differs with a big number when it comes to reporting. And this is where you'll find you may need to, for you to be able to conclude that you have to sincerely go to a second chart of accounts. You have to capture in requirements very well, come up with first and second and even the third segment, and try to see whether you can be able to create one combined chart of account. Because this one will help you ease work instead of building more than one chart of account. So, but in a scenario whereby you cannot be able to combine all the segment of, for instance, let's say you have company A, you have company B, and you have company C. So in company A, let's say they have company B, and region, they have, after region, they have units, they have accounts, they have line of business. Okay, they have projects. They want to maintain employee, them users. They have future one. They have future 2. Okay. Then in company B, you find like they have units, they have accounts, they have projects. Okay, and they have something like future 1, and future 2. Okay, in company C segments, remember these are segments. Huh? These are segments. And this would be probably our segment values. Sorry. This would be segment values. Okay. So on this, the companies C, we find maybe they have company. Okay. They have department, I'll call them cost centers. They have tracking 1, or call it tracking. Have future 1, and they have future 2. So what you're supposed to do for you to be able to tell whether this company can have one chart of accounts instead of creating for company A, company B, and company C. Remember, it's for the purpose of tracking the transaction. Being able to receive this information probably from the client users, and they tell you that in company A, we would like to report in this and this and this. All these line of chart of accounts, segments. And in company B, we would like to have all these values in terms of reporting. So what happens is you'll find you will be able to come up with, and this is a company. Telling me I'm misleading you. This is company level, and this is a segment, not segment values. So when it comes to segment, you can have all this segment in company A, or the interest of the client is to have all these segments in company A. And when it comes to company B, they want to have all this segment. And when it comes to company C, they want to have all this. So you can come up as now a consultant. It's upon you to come and try to know that if you happen to create so much chart of account, you will not be doing good, good favor to the system. So the best thing is to see how you can be able to have as minimum as just one chart of account out of the number of segments that will be provided by the client. So you can see, you can come and check on the segments that can share the same information. For instance, if it's company unit versus company, you'll find this one you can map it at the same level, like it can be taken care of by one. That is one, which will be the company. Okay. Then come to the second level. We have legion. Okay, we have legion. And a close, we don't have any other legion. We have accounts, we have cost centers. So under the second company, we don't have cost centers, we don't have division, we don't have department. But in the first company, we have units which could be representing the cost center or division or departments. And also we have cost centers in company C. So under the division, under the region, we can use cost centers. Okay, can use cost center. Then under units is accounts. Here under units is account. Here under cost center is account. So our fourth segment can be accounts. Okay. Then we have line of business. We have projects. We have tracking. So you might find the purpose of project and tracking could be probably the same. So it's upon you to talk with the business and get to understand whether the information that it's being used in tracking can be shared or can be used in the same way through the information that can be maintained in projects. So with that, you can come up with an agreement. If it's work, well and good. If it's work, you'll use one. For example, you can say, we have line of business here. Okay, you'll provide line of business. Line of business. Then we have projects. And we have users. Okay, here we don't have users. We have taken care of projects. And also we don't have users here, and we have taken care of tracking through projects. So we have left with future one and future two, future one and future two, future one and future two. So you can come here and say future one, okay, and future two. So you see, through analyzing your three requirement of charts of account based on the company that are there in an organization, you can come up with a combined chart of accounts. Okay, you can come up with a combined chart of account that is completely serving the purpose of the three, serving the purpose of the three companies in a certain organization. So it is very, very much to understand. This one has been triggered for you to know how many ledgers do you need to create per country. You have to go down to some of the information that the client wants to, the reporting requirements for a client, so that you can be able to tell whether you will build more than one primary ledger in a country, or you'll need to build two ledgers, or even more than two ledgers. So you'll find This is very, very critical, because some of the information, once you create it here, you'll never be able to change it. So it's very good to capture it very well when it comes to requirement gathering. Any question? Is there any question? So again, when it comes to legal entity, you'll find you can usually assign legal entity to primary ledger. And for legal entities, a legal entity you'll find is a company or part of a company that is legally recognized and can own asset, incur liabilities, and in I don't know whether when we are learning business, we used to call them artificial person. So this is the other aspect whereby the artificial person comes in when it comes to this multi-org structure, whereby you can have more than one legal entity and be able to have them maintain business, asset, own asset. It can be sued. It can sue and get sued. Okay. So in this case, you'll find you can have more than one legal entity. You can have as much as required. LE. This one we refer to it as LE. LEs. Okay. You can have as much as the business require legal entities for the purpose of business transactions, and you will assign legal entity to primary ledger. Okay. So that is very, very much important. Is there any question on legal entity? The only application that we map in the level of legal entity is cash management. Any question? But primarily, you'll find if the organization has only one, legal identification, you'll only have to define one legal entity. So the other one is about the operating units. And in operating units, you'll find we said these are divisions or departments, kind of, and that in a company they will find there this performance of specific business operations, and that's where we said or we talked about applications like AR, where we do the business transactions. Okay, transaction information has to be maintained there, and also customer information, supplier information, all that has to be maintained in this level of operating unit. Okay, this one you can as well, you don't have limitation of how many you can create. You can have more than one operating unit. Okay, then we have the organization, inventory organization, and primarily per country we usually define one inventory organization. One inventory organization per country. Is there any question on multi-org? It's very, very much important because this information is what you'll be dealing with. And understanding this will be helping you to be able to advise the client, will help you to be able to also understand how to approach an issue or a challenge when it comes to maybe supporting a client system. Is there any question? If there's no question, I hope it is well understood. We go back to our way of implementing, and whereby we had started with creation of business group, okay? And also something else I can mention about the multi-org structure, it usually helps organization to, with efficient management of operations, that is a closed division, or locations where, while maintaining data integrity and compliance. So you might find the information that you don't want probably operating unit 1 to, to not to be seen by operating unit 2, or operating OUA not to see information for OUB. This structure will help you to maintain that information. Okay, it will help you to maintain that information. You might find, like, when you're going to do cash management, probably bank statement reconciliation, the information that has been you're trying to reconcile, maybe you are reconciling from different, it has been mapped in different legal entities. You might find maybe you have a bank account that has been mapped in legal entity A, and another bank account has been maintained in legal entity B. So you have to be very keen. The information that you're trying to reconcile, it's coming or has been mapped from the same legal entity. All this is for the purpose of data integrity and probably compliance, and also the security and access, and also there are issue with the shared services that you would like maybe some employees or some operating unit to access and others not to access. It's very, very, very much to understand and conceptualize about the business group, the multi-org structure. If there's no question, we can go ahead, and we are at assigning the business group to all the responsibilities. And when we talk about assigning business group to all responsibility, we have a profile option that we usually use to do that. And that profile option, we call it HR business group. And assigning business group to all responsibility, we will not go through only one profile option, is business group. Okay, we will not go through only one profile option. We have two others. Okay, the second one is HR security profile. Security profile, and the third one is MO security profile. So what happens is that you'll find these three profile options, they make sense when it comes to assigning business group to all responsibilities. but we can chronologically go through this order and probably assign one by one profile option. Assign business group through one by one profile option here, the way they have been in order to the responsibility. But in this case, there is two approach. These two approach, you'll find you can assign one by one, okay? But the first one, you'll find if I happen to assign HR business group, I'll need to go ahead and assign HR security profile and assign through MO security profile. But the second approach is whereby if I assign through HR security profile, I will assign HR security profile, business group to the responsibility through HR security profile, but automatically the system will assign the HR business group. So you will find if I assign through HR security profile, I'll only need to assign manually twice. I'll just go the second time to assign manually the MO security profile. But if I start with the HR business group, I'll need to go and I assign the HR security profile and also go ahead and assign MO security profile. But it is important to know all these, the goal is to assign business group to all the responsibility. So formally, we usually say we assign a business group to all responsibility through HR business group profile. But ideally, you can go ahead without going to the HR business group profile and assign the HR business group profile through the HR security profile. I hope I'm not losing you. I'm not confusing anyone, because sometimes explaining these terms becomes very, very, very challenging. But I hope you're getting the point. Is there any question on this? Okay. So if there's no question, what we'll do, I'll go to the system and I'll demonstrate all this what I'm saying, because it might be hard to understand right now, but I believe it will be easier as we practice. But the point is, you can approach those two terms, two functionality, or this functionality through two angles. That is, the first one is assigning one by one, the way this profile has been in order or are in order up to the third one. But if you assign the second one is if you assign HR security profile, it will automatically, the system will automatically assign the business group profile. Okay. So let me log in. Check on the password. So we created our user, I remember last time. Okay. And we assigned all these responsibilities. The only responsibility we didn't assign is the sysadmin, or system administrator. Okay. Remember the password was welcome. One. So we will use our user now. Okay. Login. So I've logged in as our user, that is third user. We can see through the navigation all the responsibilities that we created and assigned to this user. So through the system administrator, we want now to assign the business group to all responsibility. So the navigation for assigning the profile option, can anyone remember, please? Anyone, please? Anyone? No one. No one remembers the navigation for assigning profile option. So we go to the application is system administrator, profile system. Okay. Navigation is still the same as this one. Okay. And responsibility maybe we can add for your reference. Responsibility is so I hope this one has loaded. Let's see what does it have. So yeah, so this is the page, or this is the window for profile option. And the profile option we are talking about right now is the HR business group. HR business, business group, assigning business group to our responsibility through HR business profile. Okay, through HR business profile. So in this case, you are supposed to come and write the name of the responsibility here. Okay. And our responsibility have the name tag. And all these are our responsibilities. So we can select as we wish. And the moment you select, for instance, you would like to probably want to see which profile options have been assigned to this, responsibility. Okay. When you select the application, you will find once it has been selected, the system automatically will auto check the checkbox for responsibility. Initially, you see we did check it. And if you'd like to see all the profile options that have been assigned to this, I was talking about the site. You uncheck the site, you uncheck the profile with no values. Then this one will give you all the information that is regarding the profile options that has been assigned to the this responsibility. We have some delay, I think, in connection. I think it's loading now.
Yeah, Sosmas, we can't see the screen.
Okay. How about now? Can we progress?
Yes, we can see now.
So what I was saying is that if you want to see all the profile options that has been assigned to a responsibility, you can uncheck all the other checkboxes and you remain with the responsibility one. Then you click on find. There is some challenge in connectivity. I don't know what's going on. But let's give it some bit of time and see. was saying, once you provide the information for responsibility here, the checkbox is not yet checked, but you could see the system will automatically to check it. If you want to see the assigned profile option and check site and the profile with no values, then click on find. You'll see you only have one profile option, which is user type, HR user type that we assigned the very first time when we created the responsibilities. So we want to assign the HR business group. Shift page up. You come here under profile name, field, HR, and click find. We have provided more than supposed to provide space. Shift page up. To select this site and click on find. So is the profile option, HR business group. What are we assigning here? Someone. What are we assigning? Are we together? We are here. We created business group. Okay. This one is done. Now we are assigning business group to our responsibilities. So, and our first responsibility is, I've said, is cash management. Is cash management responsibility. We have selected third cash management super user. So this is our responsibility. I don't want anyone to be left behind in this. So I'm worried when I am asking a question and you get stuck. Don't let us proceed if you are stuck and you don't know where we are heading to. Otherwise, you will have a hard time to catch up. Okay. And I've explained very well. We can assign them in this order, but if we assign business group, HR business group, we'll still need to go and assign HR security profile. But the system has a room for, you can assign HR security profile and automatically HR business group will get assigned. Then again, you go ahead and assign the business group to or responsibility through the MO security profile. Are we together? When you're silent, I'm worried because I don't know whether someone is lost. If you have some doubt, please ask, because there's no need of progressing if you don't get what we are doing right now. Okay. So which one do you want us to use? I've explained the two angles we can approach the assigning business group to all the responsibility. Which angle would you like us to use? Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Sosmas.
Yeah, please respond. If you are getting what I'm asking, just respond. If you are not, just say you are not getting it so that we can clarify.
Noted.
Sorry?
I'm saying noted.
Yeah, so my question is my question clear? I have said after creating
I
the
think,
business group, we need
I
to.
think the question is clear, but I'm not sure which business, which profile group or.
I've said we have two approaches that we can assign business group to the responsibility. First one, we can assign through the, okay, we'll need all these three. That one you have to understand. So through these three, we will have to assign the business group to responsibility. But now we have two options or two angles that we can do this, or we can be able to achieve this. The first one is assigning through one by one profile option. Okay, we start with HR business group, we go to HR security profile, and we go to MO security profile. But on the same, we have another approach whereby the system allows us, if we assign through the HR security profile, automatically the system will assign the business group. So we don't need to go and assign the business group again. We will only assign the HR security profile and MO security profile manually. But for the HR business group, this will automatically be assigned by the system if we start by this one. But if we start by this one, we'll have to go the three of them. So I'm asking, do we go one by one or we go with these two? That's my question.
I'll prefer we go with two.
So we will assign the HR security profile and check whether the business group has been assigned. And that's why in this case, in the cash management, start cash management business group, here you can see our business group is not assigned. Do you remember the name of the business group we created? Let me show you. I know that one cannot be remembered. Who can remember how we created the navigation for the creation of business group? In which responsibility? Anyone? We did it in HRMS. Okay, but we did it for HRMS for vision operation. Let's see whether we can be able to query it from this responsibility as well. Description. These navigations are very important. You have to master them. You have to master them. There is no way, any other way. This is the business group that we defined. So when I'm talking about assigning business group to all responsibility, I'm not talking about something that we have not done. Okay, I understand I did not share the recording for last class or last session. But in one way or the other, I don't know why I did not have all those recording. I don't know how I failed to. I couldn't trace it in my machine. In other words, so. But all in all, I believe you should have some way of make notes of what we are doing. Please make notes. It's very, very much important. Just make notes. Where you find me talking about navigation, just know that navigation is for what purpose? What are we going to create? Okay? Because this will help you when you are coming back, or maybe you want to refer something. And also you can go through, you can try to skim through the notes before we get into the current session so that you can have an update on where we are picking from. Otherwise, you might find yourself floating in the whole session. And the system sometimes become very complex, and you might find maybe it's not interesting, but it's because you are not following up. We are going in some order. Some information we build somewhere, we'll use it somewhere else. Some data we input somewhere, we'll use it somewhere else. So it's very, very much important for you to note down, so that we can have an interactive session whereby I can ask a question, you can answer, or you can even ask a question based on the area that maybe is not clear. So this is the business group that we created, okay? And maybe we can have it here for your reference. And now this business group is what we want to assign to all responsibilities, okay? And we'll assign to all responsibility through these profile options, the 3 of them. Okay, 2 of them are for future usage. You will come to learn about it when we advance. But for this one, is just for the purpose of assigning the business group to all responsibility. That is HR business group. But with a shortcut, it's like a shortcut we are using for HR security profile. Once we assign it, the system automatically assigns the business group. And because we will use the HR security profile later and MO security profile later, why don't we just use the shortcut of HR security profile, and it's automatically assign the HR business group profile option to all the responsibility. So that's where we are. So let's go back to, I've talked about the navigation of how to assign the profile option. Anyone, which responsibility? For me, I'll be asking question if you don't ask.
Sysadministrator.
Responsibility is system administrator. Navigation.
Security. Then profile.
Sorry?
Then profile.
Security, then profile.
No. It's in system administrator responsibility, go to profile.
Well, then what these things? Profile then system. I even noted it down here. It's just for your reference. It's here. Whatever I'm noting here, make sure you note it somewhere for your own reference as well. Okay. So here, once we open the window for profile option, we can provide the responsibility, and we select in the order that the system is displaying them. Then we come under profile field. We say it's HR. Okay. HR security. Fine. When you click on find, okay, I've not spaced the way it's supposed. If you fail to space or to provide the spacing in character, the system will not respond. So you have to provide the correct spacing even when you are typing your information. So what we are saying here, what information are we supposed to provide here?
The name of the business.
Exactly.
That's good.
So you see, if you just type the first few letters of the name of business group, it will auto-populate and the system will autofill the field. So this is what we are saying now. The moment now we assign security profile, HR security profile to this responsibility, we will auto assigning the business group to the same responsibility. So what I want to do is I will save this information and go and query the HR business group profile option under the third cash management responsibility, and we see whether it will be able to provide us with the we'll see whether the business group, third business group, have been able to be assigned. So initially it was not, remember that. Or maybe I can first of all show you it's not. I will not save this. Shift page up. Here, provide business. Find. I don't want to save. That is the spacing issue. Find. So you see, under the business group, the profile, under the HR business group profile option, the business group has not been assigned. So we want to assign the HR profile option, security profile, and see whether we'll, and come now again and query under HR business group and see whether it will auto assign. So shift page up on your keyboard. Not everything I'm mentioning, even that shift page up is, remember I told you is a shortcut. Okay. Then click on find. So here we want to assign our business group to this cash management responsibility and then go ahead and save. Once we have saved, we now want to go and check the business group profile option, whether it has been assigned to the same responsibility. We can find. You see, the profile option is HR business group. Already the business group has been assigned. So this is what I've been trying to say. If we use this HR security profile, it will automatically assign this without us going to assign it manually. But it doesn't mean we have the limitation of starting with HR business group profile and then go to HR security profile and also go to MO security profile. That's what I've been talking about. Any question? So we'll go one by one. We have done with cash management, but we have not assigned the MO. The MO security profile. So you see this security profile has not been assigned with business group. We assign and save. Then shift page up. You come to the responsibility field. You select the second responsibility, which is third fixed asset super user. We can start with this MO security profile because it's already there. Okay. Save. Shift page up. Now we can change to HR security profile. Remember, this is the one that is auto assigning the HR business group. Then shift page up. We go to the next. Have we assigned the MO? Yes, right? So we go to the second or the third responsibility. We assign business group and save. Shift page up. We change the responsibility to MO security. It's a spacing issue. Shift page up. We go to the third, the fourth. We're in general ledger. HRMS. We start with MO, click on find. Okay, that is security profile. Shift page up. We check on HR profile. Save. Shift page up. We go to sixth. Here in HRMS. Now we go to the fields. Inventory. Security profile. Shift page up. Shift page up. Change the from inventory to order management. Shift page up. Yeah. You have saved. Shift page up. Change the responsibility and from order management to payables. Find. Save. Shift page up. You change to find. Have we changed? Let's check. Let's check whether we have assigned for security. We are changing the responsibility. Payables to purchasing. Start with HR. Shift page up. Change the profile option. Page up. We assign the last responsibility, which is receivables. Then we go to HR. So we've been able to assign all. Counter check with one. Check a random one. Like and we remove now we'll be checking all the response. For instance, under third global HRMS super user, we want to see all the profile option that has been assigned to this responsibility. Click on find. So you see we have 4 of them, starting with the one that we assigned the very first time. Okay, and then on assigning security profile, it's automatically assigned business group. Then we assign security profile. I hope this one is clear. Okay, shift page up. You can check any other responsibility like payables. Click on find. See, it has all the profile option assigned. Any question? Any question? So I shared the test instance, I mean the practice instance. I believe you have all managed to log in. Okay. And with time, if you find some challenge when you are trying to log in, please just ping me and I'll assist you. Is there any question?
No, no question.
All right, so I'll share this recording as soon as possible. So bye bye and have a good night.